Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas everybody, Wayne here. I hope Santa Claus brought you everything that you wanted for Christmas this year. I tell you, my wife hates this time of year, shopping for gifts for me for Christmas, because she says I get everything all year long that I want anyway. So with it being Christmas all year long, I figured I'd do a top 5 pickups of 2017 video. First up, we have the PlayStation VR. I was pretty skeptical to get the PlayStation VR at first, but once I found out my local store had it, I rushed over to get it, and I'm glad I did. The PSVR is amazing. I can't believe how realistic everything is on the PSVR. After playing horror games on it, horror games on the flat screen aren't really as scary anymore. I played through Until Dawn Rush of Blood, and it had killer clowns chasing me, screaming ghosts popping out. It doesn't get much scarier than that. Even just the demo of the kitchen, you're afraid to even turn your head. I'm fortunate in the fact that I really don't get sick or dizzy while wearing the headset. A lot of people suffer from motion sickness when playing with it. The only game I got mildly queasy on is Starblood Arena. The ship turns in all different directions, making anyone's stomach turn. If you don't have a PSVR, I highly recommend getting one. I'd also suggest testing it out first to make sure that you don't get sick or nauseous while playing it. I actually decided to start collecting for the system because the games are really cheap and it's easy to keep up with. I'm a big fan of the system. Next up, we have a pretty recent pickup, and you know from one of my videos, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. Since I'm going for the complete library, to have this one knocked out right at the beginning of the library is awesome. I still have a lot of difficult titles to acquire, but having this one knocked out so early in the collection is definitely a weight lifted off the shoulders. Next up, we have a console, the Nintendo Switch. This was the first console that I've ever went out on launch day to buy. I remember waiting in line and I was all hyped up, and for good reason. Games like Breath of the Wild, the graphics in that game were so beautiful, the story was fun, and then of course you had the epic boss battle at the end. Mario Odyssey, another hit title. The games on the system definitely don't disappoint. I was a little worried at first because there wasn't a lot of games for the library, so I kind of thought it was going to take the same path as the Wii U. But man, now every time I log on Instagram, I see another picture of a game I didn't even know was coming out for the system. I think they took a good direction in the fact that they're bringing all the games on the system, not just family-friendly games. They're bringing games like Doom, Skyrim, Sign Mora, and I also like the fact that they took away the region lock. I was able to go pick up a Japanese copy of Mario Odyssey because my store was taking forever to get it. I think Nintendo made a lot of good moves with the Switch, and that's why it's one of my top 5 pickups of 2017. Next up, we have the Famicom colored Rob the Robot set. Ever since I got the American colored Rob the Robot, I wanted to get the Famicom version of him to go with him, and I wasn't ever able to find him locally here in Japan. But when I went to Taiwan, that's where I found him, and I found the whole set for a pretty decent price. I think it was just over 300 bucks, and not only was it cool to pick it up, but it also made for a good video, Taiwan retro game hunting. So it's really cool to have Rob the Robot, Famicom version and American version. I think Rob the Robot is the coolest thing since sliced bread. Not really, but it's pretty cool. Alright, next up we have the demo units. I'm not going to sit here and hold it up like this. They're way too heavy. I decided to make all 3 of them as one entry. The M82 was the #1 item on my list for the longest time, and I was really excited to get that in the mail and do a video on that. Then a few months later, my buddy had the Super Famicom box, and I got that for a really good deal off him. And then after the Super Famicom box, I of course had to get the Famicom box. Those were all picked up this year. Really cool pieces of video game history to have. Those 3 units are probably the most unique things that I have in my collection, and they'll probably be some of the most unique things I'll ever have in my collection. So what are some of your favorite pickups of 2017? I'd love to hear about them in the comments. And until next time, I'm Wayne, Merry Christmas, and thanks for watching.